Just being with him since we started in the spring, the way he's practiced, the way he's prepared, just kind of the way he is, man. And nothing really bothers him. Like, he's got a good way about him. Like, he was the perfect guy for Sam, we felt like, and he's hold true to that. But watching him prepare and practice and kind of seeing what he did yesterday, getting thrown in the ones, just his calmness, I think it's great for our other players because he's not a panic guy. He's kind of like, he's got a coolness about him. And, when things change at that position, sometimes other guys can panic a little bit, but when you got a guy that's just really calm and steady, then that calms everybody else down.
You were personally aggressive in making sure that he was going to be the backup this year. So what did you see him in prior years where you're like, this has to be the guy?
I feel like there were so many crossover games we had with somebody playing Denver where I saw a lot of his games in his time when he was starting. And I just remember, because we worked him out when he was coming out, but he had the ACL and he couldn't really move. And when Denver signed him and then he became the starter after Peyton left, I kept seeing him play a lot. And in my head, I'm going, wow, this guy really throws a nice ball and he gets it out, it comes out clean. And, it just seemed like the more film I watched on him, and then when we started evaluating him, then I really liked him.
That's Adam Gase. How close did he come to becoming the Browns head coach? I know that this is when they hired Hugh Jackson. Wasn't he second or third in line?
I think he was the guy that they kind of liked and looked at. Of course, he's got those ties to Peyton Manning. Right. We know that Jimmy Haslam has those Tennessee ties and the Peyton Manning ties. So I think he was always sort of, his name was always kind of tied to the Browns. But I don't know that he ever came real close to actually getting the job. Yeah, I remember Peyton Manning really pushed for him. Yeah. I mean, Peyton Manning obviously really liked working with the guy. I'm thinking somewhere along the line in football season, Tom Brady's name comes up, Bill Belichick's name comes up almost every time. This is another example. Miami is a horrible team. The Jets, who looked like they were going to improve, but now with their quarterback situation, who knows? Le'Veon Bell, who knows that also? And then the Buffalo Bills. It's almost 6 automatic. You talk about, is it Brady who makes Belichick, Belichick who makes Brady? No, I think it's the Eastern Division that makes both of them.
Did you take it all the way down, Andy? Or?
I think that helps a lot to have to play the AFCs. You get those 2 games every year against all of those teams. And, teams have kind of benefited off the Browns in the AFC North with that. They've gotten to play the Browns twice a year. Right. And for a lot of years, that's been 2 really easy wins. And I think that's played sometimes into the division.
But it wasn't 4 or 6 easy wins.
Yeah, exactly. It adds to that. Yeah. And no one has ever been able to really challenge the Patriots. The Jets every now and again during the Mangini years kind of did. But they haven't been able. No one's been able to challenge them regularly.
All right. So here's the thing that I think involves the Cleveland Browns at this point, because you said it's almost a must-win, or we decided it was almost a must-win. The problem is that the Cleveland has been the laughingstock of the NFL for as long as we can remember, and although on paper everything looks good, if they don't start showing it quickly on the field, they're going to be right back in that same thing where they're going to be laughed at and nobody's going to take them seriously, and that's not a good sign. And
I think you're seeing it already. I think there are a lot of people out there in the media, especially the national
players.
Media, who listen to this team talk and heard all the hype. There was this team or just somebody from the outside, and I think they saw this team lose by 30, and a lot of people wanted to jump on that and point it out.
On the other hand,
you bring that on yourself, though.
Sure.
The Browns brought that on themselves.
That's you can take care of that your own way. On the other hand, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who along with the Browns are co-favorites to win the division, they get pounded by 30 also.
Yeah, they didn't look great either. But that's an interesting kind of juxtaposition, because that's a team that regularly starts slow. They were playing the Super Bowl champs. I think when you have that track record, people tend to trust that team a little bit more than maybe they do the Browns, because they've never seen the Browns actually do it.
Right. There's no reason to believe that the Browns can do it until they do it.
Yeah.
Sounds stupid.
Well, yeah, and I don't think anybody would be shocked. Look, maybe Pittsburgh's just not very good. They go 7-9, but I don't think anybody would be shocked if we look back at the end of the year and say, oh, that huge loss to New England wasn't that big of a deal, I guess.
Right, exactly. At what point, Freddie Kitchens still came out as confident as can be. How much of it was bravado and how much was real confidence, but also kind of being afraid of what might be down the road here?
I think he's a confident guy. generally. I think that's sort of how he is, but I also think he understands you've got to exude that a little bit, and you've got to show your players that you still believe in them. But I think he's confident that he can come up with some kind of game plan, some kind of scheme to beat the Jets. I don't think it's fake at all. But I also think that was that was a moment for everyone where they either got humbled or they realized they've got to learn something or they've got to make an adjustment. I think that includes him in a big way.
Here's the thing. I don't know if the current Browns do that. I know the Browns have done this in the past and other teams do it also. They, especially for the early opponents, they spend quite a bit of time on the offseason. Somebody on the staff is assigned to cover them or to watch for them and come up with whatever is going to work. And here you go, whoever worked 6 months on the Jets game, they got to just rip up everything and start all over again.
I guess so. And that's the most frustrating thing about the Titans thing. Like, you've been preparing for the Titans since the schedule came out. Or at least I hope you did. And certainly Mike Vrabel was preparing for the Browns since the schedule came out.
And that's the best you can do.
Yeah, it makes it even more frustrating.
Yeah, I thought before the game Tennessee just didn't get any talk on what they deserved. I mean, you thought they were the sacrificial lamb for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah,
and not just locally, nationally.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by all of that because it's a team that won 9 games. They were a 2-point conversion away from beating the Chargers, who were a playoff team last year. I thought that was a better team than myself included, a lot of people gave them credit for.